But one group who claims not to be on the bus, the Republican National Committee, Communications Director Doug Heye here, telling the Washington Post, got to be honest with you, I don't know about any Glenn Beck event. Joining me now, somebody who does, the president of MediaMatters.org, Eric Burns. Eric, good evening.
Thank you, Keith. How are you?
How can somebody at the RNC say with a straight face they haven't heard of the event? I mean, the Washington Post reported operatives at virtually every Republican committee in Washington claimed little or no knowledge of the event. Is everybody going to be out of town this weekend?
No, look, I mean, we know that they've known about it. I mean, Michael Steele has done nothing but rave about Glenn Beck and the Tea Party movement for months. I think the issue here is not that the RNC is worried about being associated with the Tea Party. The RNC and the Republican Party's brand has been so badly damaged by 20 years of failed policy, George Bush, the reign of terror by Tom DeLay, that they don't want to get in the way of the Tea Party successful branding of itself. And that's really, Keith, what this entire rally is all about. This effort by Glenn Beck is to essentially rebrand the conservative movement, wrap themselves in the flag and the mythology of the country, and then, of course, the honor of American soldiers. Because let's remember, and one thing that's not talked about very often, the Republican Party's approval ratings are about half that of the Democrats, and we all know that the Democrats are struggling right now.
Time magazine has reported that Beck's charity, the Special Operations Warrior operation, required speakers at the event to sign an agreement to not talk politics. So Sarah Palin is going to be speaking. How does that work? I mean, if she doesn't just say only the words Republican or Democrat, does that qualify as not politics?
Look, maybe in Glenn Beck's book that will. I find it hard to believe that one of the leading Republican presidential hopefuls is not going to talk politics. There's going to be plenty of politics at the event. You mentioned Americans for Prosperity. Freedom Works are going to be there registering voters and teaching people how to do GOTV. The National Rifle Association is going to be there. And let me just say, I mean, if by chance Glenn Beck is true to his word, there's no politics, and it's all just about this charity that helps take care of the children of veterans who have lost their lives, then maybe that's Glenn Beck turning over a new leaf. But and that would be wonderful. But I'm not going to hold my breath.
Are we expecting to see him part the reflecting pool?
I think he thinks he may be parting the reflecting pool. Okay. I mean, he has talked about channeling the Holy Spirit. I'm skeptical, but he certainly built up the expectations, and it just kind of speaks to the fact that so much of this is about Glenn Beck, really elevating himself and his delusions of grandeur about who he is. Not only has he tried to, co-opt Martin Luther King's legacy, he's trying to kind of present himself as a combination of like a George Washington and Abraham Lincoln for the modern day.
Lastly, with Dick Armey using Saul Alinsky as a textbook, this would be funny if they hadn't tried to turn Saul Alinsky into every evil known to man.
Well, it's really not funny because, Glenn Beck is dangerous, and it speaks to just the fundamental dishonesty, not of just this rally and its real intent, but of what Glenn Beck does every day. They vilify Saul Alinsky, but then they actually use his tactics to train their operatives. He claims the legacy of Martin Luther King for himself, a middle-aged white man who's a multimillionaire, but then, of course, trashes everything that Martin Luther King has ever believed in.
Eric Burns of Media Matters. If we don't talk to you again before the rapture, thanks a lot, and it's been nice knowing you.
Thank you.